Why is it important for our websites to be accessible? Well, we learned in 2020 that 98% of US-based websites are not accessible. And this is a problem because the Americans with Disabilities Act has been law for 30 years at least. When the internet happened, it was affirmed that the Americans with Disabilities Act applies to the internet, which means anybody who puts up a website is required by law to make sure that their website is accessible to those with disabilities. And we see that there's a majority of websites out there that are non-compliant because enforcement has been a bit lax. However, we are seeing in the last few years that there have been a huge rise in Americans with Disabilities Act or ADA lawsuits. And more business owners are getting demand letters that are telling them that their websites are not compliant. And if you are not compliant, you can be sued and you can be fined. And just like ADA lawsuits for physical buildings, for instance, not having an appropriate ramp for a person in a wheelchair to enter a building, can cause a lawsuit that costs thousands of dollars. If your website is non-compliant and you get sued, it can sometimes cost $25,000 or more to handle this lawsuit. So more and more industries are realizing that this is an important issue and they need to handle it. And while larger corporations have the resources to do this, many small business owners are not able to handle this issue. And that's where we as web designers can come in to help them by using a tool like Web Access Pro to help them identify the failure in their code to be compliant with ADA laws, and we can help them recode their website to make them compliant. Because the majority of jobs out there in web design are actually not to build new websites, it's actually to fix websites. It's to remediate them for various issues. As a web designer who is someone that can use this tool, that understands how to make an accessible website, you are going to be in demand because industries are learning more and more that this is something they need to do and they need to fix their stuff and they need to fix it fast. It's an important job because you're going to be doing something for those with disabilities to make websites and content more accessible to them. Because ultimately, while there is a legal issue and money is involved, it is just the right thing to do to make our websites accessible so that the content is available to customers. Presented by Designers Learn Code.